So today we're going over the Gordon Ryan versus Patrick Gaudio match at the latest NWO event. Patrick Gaudio, I didn't really know much about him, so I looked him up on BJJ Heroes. His last 3 matches, he lost 3 in a row, 1 by decision and 2 by submission, so he's probably not feeling the most confident in his jiu-jitsu right now. Gordon Ryan needs an easy win after all of the issues that he's been having with his stomach, and so he just basically needed a tune-up fight. Also to sell more instructionals. But despite all that, obviously Patrick is way better than your average jiu-jitsu guy, so there's going to be a lot that we're going to be able to learn from Gordon doing whatever he wants to Patrick. So I already skipped ahead because the beginning of the match is just a bunch of hand fighting and clinching, but we finally get to this point around the 27-minute and 30-second mark where things actually start happening. So Patrick backs up, and as Patrick is backing up, Gordon comes towards him. He's going to have to step forward. That's going to give Patrick the opportunity to attack Gordon's lead leg. Gordon intercepts him with a nice arm drag. Now, he uses his hand to pass Patrick's hand past his body, so assist him with the arm drag. That's definitely a detail I'm going to be stealing next time I start doing arm drags. As soon as Patrick squares up and faces him, that's when Gordon goes down and grabs the leg. He doesn't hang out there too long. As soon as Gordon lifts the leg, he immediately starts scooting backwards and towards his left side. He's doing a basic wrestling takedown where he runs the pipe. Instead of using both arms to run the pipe, he basically uses just his left arm and then uses his right arm towards Patrick's left neck area to give him that force on Gordon's left hand side, and it's an easy takedown from there. Now this is where the domination begins. So Patrick has the knee shield, and he gives up the knee shield to dive under for a deep half guard. Gordon counters this by placing his hands on the mat to post, and he's keeping this position where his hips are past the knee shield. Patrick is doing his best to do a combination of trying to get the deep half, and if he can't get the deep half, he's trying to also go for that underhook as well. But Gordon does a really good job of denying both of those options. He denies the half guard by posting his left arm to the ground, and then he denies the underhook by scooting back and getting his hips back as well. The reason that Patrick has to abandon the underhook on his left side is because as he's going for the underhook, Gordon posts both of his arms on the mat. That makes Gordon's lower body carry less weight. His knee automatically starts slicing through on Gaudio's left side. During that scramble, while Gaudio is trying to get back into half guard, Gordon uses that opportunity to crowd Patrick's hips and get his hips close to his, and now the knee shield is nullified. He immediately starts going for that crossface to flatten Patrick out. I don't know whether to call him Patrick or Gaudio. It feels weird to call him Patrick. I'm going to just start calling him Gaudio from now on. Patrick seems like such a nice name for a guy that is massive. So Gordon has the crossface, but then he lets go of the crossface. That allows Gaudio to get back his frames, and then he's able to get back into his knee shield. Now, this was the first sign for me that Gordon Ryan is going to just absolutely cook this guy. He had the crossface, he was past his hips, and he was past the knee shield. He could have easily passed from this position, but he let Gaudio get back to the knee shield because he's gonna want to just absolutely torture this dude so he can do the submission that he wants to get. I did like the fact that Gordon does a little trick here where it looks like a same side leg drag, and then he basically crowds the hips again and gets into his half guard. If you want to keep attacking from the half guard and you don't want to deal with the guy's butterfly hooks, that's a great way to do it. Gaudio once again gives up that knee shield in order to try to get a underhook or go for a deep half guard, but Gordon Ryan has already seen it before. He already has his hips back. He has that crossface, so he can't get under him. And now he's starting to flatten out, and you never want to be flat on your back when you're in half guard. This is like the last thing that you want to do. So basically what I learned from this interaction is that if you want to avoid someone's deep half guard, and also if you want to avoid them looking to get that underhook on that other side, if you can use that cross face to just flatten them out, both of those options are gone now. That's something that I'm definitely going to keep in mind later in my training for sure. So Gordon starts pushing Gaudio's left leg down in order to free that knee. As he's freeing that knee, Gaudio uses his left arm to try to block the knee to avoid him getting mounted. That's basically a bait for Gordon to go for the head and arm, and he doesn't need the full underhook for the head and arm. It's not as good as an underhook, but it's pretty much like 95% there because Gaudio can't get an underhook from here, and his left arm is pretty much useless. He notices that Gaudio is using his right arm to frame on Gordon's hip. So while his left arm is trapped and he sees that Gaudio's right arm is extended, he moves his head to the other side, his near side. So that gives him his opportunity to tripod and elevate his hips. That gives him clearance on his right knee to get past Gaudio's hips, and now he starts slicing towards the mount. It's only when Gordon has cleared his knee, that's when Gordon can take his left arm in this position and he can start posting with it to be more stable on top. So it's very systematic on how Gordon uses every little detail to keep advancing his position. Gaudio is trying his best not to get mounted at this point. Gordon kind of gives up that underhook on the right hand side and he starts to go under Gaudio's right arm, and from here that's when Gaudio is able to explode and switch his hips and then tries to get back into half guard. Gordon is ready for this. He already has his knee in a knee slicing position here, and because Gordon doesn't have a proper underhook on the side, he quickly does a back step, and that allows him to be in a good passing position from here. Gaudio tries to go for the deep half, and this time he actually is in a much better deep half position. Gordon counters this by stepping out his right leg. He steps back out. It looks like he's trying to go for like a leg drag pass position, but Gaudio does a good job of facing him quickly, and we end up back into a half guard position. So we're back in this quarter guard position. Gaudio is going for the deep half again, but this time Gordon has the underhook while he's going for the deep half. Gordon is able to get the head and arm position again, and he brings his hips back so Gaudio can't go for any deep half again. And now Gordon starts getting double underhooks, and with double underhooks he's able to use his left leg to pry out his right leg, and now he ends up in mount. He's just keeping his body on top. He's letting him get back his knee shield. He does that little shuck with that foot again to get back into half guard. He's just laying on him, getting him tired. No technique going on right now. Literally just planking on him. Like, look at this. He spent, look how long he's been in that. He spent like 10 seconds just planking on him. Now this move, okay, we gotta watch that again. Uses his right foot to pivot, and he clears Patrick's left foot, right? As soon as he's able to clear that, I'm not sure if he has a left crossface at this, but he uses his right arm to collapse Gaudio's left leg, and that gives him an easy pass. That seems like a great way to pass half guard. Something that I definitely want to mess with in the future for sure. He's past Gaudio's feet here, and he's going to want to try to get back into half guard. So Gordon brings his right knee into his stomach, right? So he slides his knee up as Gaudio is trying to recover guard. As soon as his foot passes that knee, boom, he goes right into knee on belly. Like it's a Tetris piece. Instead of getting caught in Gaudio's half guard again, he makes sure that his ankle is elevated so he can't catch his left leg. This time Gordon is going for the Kimura trap, and because he has the Kimura trap, it's very easy for him to just kind of pull out his leg and get back into side control. He literally puts his leg back into half guard. He's just like, here, take my leg, get back into half guard, keep wasting energy, keep trying to get back into a better position. Like, he wants him to just keep trying to defend at this point. He's fishing for that underhook now. Gets the underhook again. Gets the head and arm. Now he uses a head and arm to transition into mount. He starts getting him what it looks like is triple threat at this point, or looking like he's going towards triple threat. So it looks like Gordon is going for an arm triangle, but he doesn't go for it necessarily because he wants to finish the way he wants to finish it. But it does give us more insight to his setups, right? So he has like an arm triangle setup, and from here, Gordon is going to show us more options of what you can do in this position. So he brings his right knee all the way behind, and then he brings Gaudio's body on top of his. Gordon does what he always does, and he likes to isolate the arm. A little extra step here that I find interesting is he uses his right hand to push Gaudio's shoulder down. So I thought it was interesting that Gordon would give up a full Kimura grip to prioritize pushing that shoulder down. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is between doing that and just throwing your legs over. Obviously, he is way more detailed than the average grappler. I guess it's just simply for more control. If anything, you're just more sticky to your opponent. It gives them less wiggle room to explode out of. And you can see here that he eventually does throw his leg over Gaudio's head for the armbar position. You know, there's like a lot of different ways that people break the armbar grip, right? I find it very interesting that Gordon does this figure four with his legs, and then he's able to pry off that grip. That is something that I've never done before. You don't have to give up your grip positioning at all when you go for this, compared to the way I do it. So it's definitely something that I'm going to mess around with for sure. And then he straightens out the arm. Gordon does a little figure four with his legs over the shoulder and finish the armbar from there. I never finished the armbar this way. It looks like it's kind of loose, like just looking at it, because his left leg is not over the body. His right leg is not over the head. He obviously knows what he's doing. He's able to isolate the arm very easily, get the tap. Gaudio had really no chance to escape this. I am kind of curious to see his thought process behind the finishing of this armbar technique. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you appreciated the analysis, and I will see you guys on the next video.